A very good evening and welcome to State of Business, our television's prime-time business news bulletin. I'm Madhusha Tavapalakumar. Let's take a look at the headlines first. President arrives in Sri Lanka after his official visit to London. IMF reaches staff-level agreement on the fourth review of Sri Lanka's extended fund facility. Now the stories in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena, who was on an official visit to London, returned to Sri Lanka this morning. President Maithripala Sirisena returned to Sri Lanka today in the morning after attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, which was held in London from 16th to 20th of April. President addressed the Commonwealth Business Forum on 18th of April at the Commonwealth Business Council, and during his speech, President Sirisena emphasized on the importance of all stakeholders coming together in order to achieve sustainable development goals. He also met British Prime Minister Theresa May and held discussions with several state officials who participated in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting on strengthening the relationships between countries, which will lead to the expansion of trade and investment opportunities. After constructive discussions with the authorities, Manuela Gorotti, the IMF mission chief for Sri Lanka, issued a statement stating that the IMF team reached a staff-level agreement with Sri Lankan authorities on the fourth review under an economic reform program supported by a 3-year extended fund facility arrangement. Subject to cabinet approval of an automatic fuel pricing mechanism consistent with the EFF-supported program, the board is expected to consider Sri Lanka's request for completion of the fourth review in June 2018. The measure would represent a major step towards completing energy pricing reforms in 2018. Further efforts remain needed to strengthen governance and mitigate fiscal risks from state-owned enterprises. The statement further noted that the central bank should continue to remain vigilant in guarding against inflationary pressures while continuing to build reserves and supporting greater exchange rate flexibility. Let's take a look at more news after this short break. Welcome back. The manufacturing and the services sector's Purchasing Managers Index has increased in March when compared to February of this year. The manufacturing sector PMI reached a 12-month high and signaled a strong upturn in manufacturing activities by recording 65.6 index points in March from 55.6 index points in February 2018. The services sector PMI recorded 58 index points in March 2018 from 58.4 index points in February 2018. The services sector activities expanded at a softer pace in March 2018, mainly supported by new businesses, business activity, employment and expectations for activity sub-indices. The expansion in new businesses remained strong and was observed across financial service activities, insurance activities, and wholesale and retail trade activities. Backlogs of work declined along with the increase in employment in March 2018, continuing its trend observed in previous months. While a modest expansion was observed in expectation for activity expected, labor cost increased due to expected salary increments and incentives to be granted during festival season. Now let's look at the weekly economic indicators released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka last Friday.
According to the CBSL, domestic tea production increased during the first 2 months of 2018 due to favorable weather conditions and high prices at the Colombo tea auction. Meanwhile, production of rubber and coconut declined due to decreasing auction prices and the effects of the prevailing drought since 2016, respectively. Moreover, crude oil prices followed an increasing trend supported by declining U.S. crude inventories and predictions of top oil exporter Saudi Arabia withholding supply. Overall, both Brent and WTI prices rose by $1.3 per barrel and $1 per barrel respectively within the period. The weekly average weighted prime lending rate for the week ending 20th April 2018 decreased by 12 basis points to 11.44% compared to the previous week. The reserve money decreased compared to the previous week mainly due to decrease in currency circulation. The total outstanding market liquidity increased to a deficit of 9.67 billion rupees by end of the week compared to 43.65 billion rupees by the end of last week. Meanwhile, during the year up to 20th April 2018, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the US dollar by 2.2%. Given the cross-currency exchange rate movements, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the pound sterling by 6.6%, euro by 5.4%, Japanese yen by 6.6%, and Indian rupee by 0.6% during this period.
Let's take a look at the stocks after this short break. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped by 15.80 points to close at 6,525.17, and the S&P SL 20 dropped by 3.71 points to close at 3,675.52. The turnover was 554.7 million rupees and 10.9 million shares were traded. Next is Forex rates. With that, we are wrapping up State of Business for the day. We'll meet you tomorrow at the same time with more latest news. Until then, take care. Good night.